Hi there, everyone. Yeah, since my last video on Misanthropony gained so much views, I'm guessing it must have been a really hot topic at the time. Sorry, I've decided to make another one, especially since he has resurfaced only a few days ago under the new name of Zaid Magenta. Yes, Zaid Magenta. So Misanthropony is now Zaid Magenta, which I'm going to be honest, it doesn't really sound that much of an improvement because it still sounds just like random nonsense. Probably more so now because, well, at least with Misanthropony, he had that icon that made him look like he was a character from the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic show. So at least that makes sense. Plus, also, he admits to everyone that he's a brony, a fan of the show, who's male. So yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he likes the color magenta. Maybe that's why. Which okay, fair enough. But Zaid or whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to. Anyway, that's his choice or whether what name he goes by. But yeah, that's what he's going by now. Um, Zaid Magenta. If I get it wrong, I do apologize. But anyway, impressions about well, I'm just saying, Zaid Magenta, whatever. Um, yeah, first impressions. Well, he says that he has learned his lesson from before. Okay. And in the video that he had posted a couple of days ago, he said that he was being a lot more active in his life. He's got more work hours. He's working out more. You know, fine. That's all brilliant. Good for him. That's all terrific. Obviously, though, the main question is, has he really learned anything from this experience, from what happened last time? Well, from what I could see, um, from what I saw in the video, plus also stuff that happened recently on his DeviantArt page, he's become a bit more active on that recently. It doesn't give me the best confidence in him, to be quite honest. Yeah, I'm just trying to put this into words. Well, he seems to still fall into his old habits from time to time, like name calling. That was one thing that lots of people said about Miss Anthroponi, Zad Magenta, whatever it's called. Um, but basically, they'll go ahead and say, "Oh, he always resorts to name calling when he really defends something that he loves, and someone may have criticism over that kind of thing." Well, from the few comments I was able to find of him recently, like last month, August, on his DeviantArt page, yeah, he still does that. He still name calls people, though. Granted, obviously, these were. I think a couple of these people were, like, in fact, a couple of people who actually hated him, regardless of the recent controversy he caused himself. Not going to name that individual from Twitter who blocked him, since he rightfully doesn't want to have any more part in this, and that is absolutely fine. That is the best course of action to take, and I'm not going to acknowledge that person anymore. He doesn't want to be involved. That's absolutely fine. But Miss Anthroponi, Zad Magenta, whatever. I keep saying Zlad. It's not Zlad. It's Zaid. Sorry, Zaid Magenta. My apologies. Sorry, Zaid Magenta. Anyway, he's also trying to get his name changed to Zaid Magenta on DeviantArt, but he has to go on to Core first, which means he'll probably might do that. Probably might buy Core membership for a month or something, change his name, and then when it runs out, he doesn't renew, and that'll just be that. But yeah, Zaid Magenta, Zaid, or Z, if you're American. Um, Zaid. Magneta. Magenta. Probably spelled that wrong. Magenta. Yeah, I told you I'm rubbish at spelling. I do apologise. But yeah, that's how he's being. That's how he goes by now on YouTube. Anyway, um, but yeah, from what I've read on those DeviantArt comments, yeah, he still resorts to name calling quite a bit. I mean, again, granted, these were probably people who hated him before the controversy. But as I told him in the comments on his video, you know, don't acknowledge them. Don't acknowledge the haters. You're not going to change their mind. They're just seeing you as a target, pretty much. Well, I didn't see that last part, but that's what I meant. You know, if you respond to trolls, you are just continuing to make yourself a target. If trolls realize that you're just going to ignore them, they'll get bored. They'll find someone else to try and torture because these sick individuals, that's that's what they do. That's just what they do. They're stupid in that regard. Um, but notice my usage of words there as well. I only say trolls were stupid and idiots and whatnot, whatever. I didn't actually go into specifics like if they may have a certain condition or of a certain ethnicity or anything like that. See, I'm being careful with my words. Um, I keep doing that. Like I said, this name is stupid. I'm sorry, but I mean, I know lots of people weren't big on the whole Misanthro name, but Zaid Magenta, sorry, I'm not really a big fan of that name. Less so than the last name. I mean, obviously, you're not going to associate with uh, you don't want to associate yourself with that name anymore because you were going for a fad or whatever excuse you came up with for that. You know, just absolutely. I mean, you do have a right to change your name. I just don't really like what the name has been changed into. It's just ZM. I'm just going to call him ZM because it's just easier for me. Anyway, well, that was the thing on the video he mentioned. He said, and this is going into what I said about him falling into old habits, is he mentioned if people assumed that he changed his name from Misanthropone to Zaid Magenta to try and distance himself or avoid the fact that he got himself into this controversy several months ago, then in his words, quote, they are idiots, end quote. So yeah, he still name calls people, despite the fact that no one has actually accused him of doing that at the moment. And from the comments, from most of the comments that I've seen in those videos, on that particular video, there were just people who were, praising, going, "Oh, welcome back. Hopefully things will be better." That kind of thing. From his people who acknowledged him, who liked him, whatever. Absolutely fine, brilliant. If they do, if they're fans of him still, more power to them. And like I said, I'm hoping that there is room for change. It's just that I don't think he is going to get over his so-called hate-dom very easily, because in the video he also mentions, well, going to work on several reviews. Absolutely fine. That's what people have come to expect of him. That's why they come to his channel in the first place, to watch his reviews, watch his opinion on certain things. Okay, fine. But then he says that he's still going to make a video acknowledging the haters. And I'm like, really? This is kind of what got you into this problem in the first place, is the fact that you are going to do a video on your hate them, and that is where that was partially why he got himself in this situation in the first place, because he created the sock puppet account on Twitter to try and lure this person, or try and get this person forcibly get this person to have their say in regard to this upcoming video or whatever. but they didn't want anything more to do with it, and that's the whole thing. And of course, when he when he finally exposed himself to Lyle Convoy's reviews, that's when it all blew up. And actually, speaking about Lyle Convoy's reviews, when he like talked to ZM back like a few months ago, saying, "Yeah, don't do this, don't do this," and then of course he did it, and he goes, "Why would you do this? I told you not to do it." This is kind of the response that I'm getting from him right now in regard to what I have to say to him. Yeah, sometimes it's like talking to a brick wall with this person. Once he's made up his mind, he's not going to change it. Again, I told him, don't acknowledge the haters. They're just going. They're not. You're not going to change their minds, or you're not really going to accomplish anything. Really, you're just going to make yourself a bigger target. You're just going to. You're just making it much more easier for these people to poke fun at you, or to hate you, or whatever. You're not going to change that. That's always going to be a thing. That is never going to change. People are, you get some people who like you, and you get some people who won't like you. It's just one of them things. The best thing to do is just to ignore the people who don't like you. They are nothing. They're not a part of your life. They're not a major part of your life. Just ignore them and move on with your own life. And but acknowledging, excuse me, oh, I'm terribly sorry. But acknowledging these people, acknowledging these trolls, they're just, that's not that great. Oh, and that's the thing. In the comment he replied, he figured. Oh, hold on, I have to bring it up. On his thing now. Hold on. Oh yeah, he replied to me. The keywords being online harassers. Well, whatever, still, online trolls, whatever, blah, blah, blah. These aren't your usual stereotypical haters slash trolls. They are unhinged, on the spectrum lunatics who are fully convinced that I'm a threat to society and have been trying to run me off the internet for no honourable reason. He's talking in regard to people who are claiming to be him, trying to pretend to be Misanthro, whatever, using his name, doing things that he wouldn't do. I mean, yeah, fair enough. If they're doing that, report them. But also your phrasing, you have autism yourself, and you're openly insulting people on the autism spectrum by calling them lunatics. I don't do that. Oh, believe me, it is tempting to do that to another person on the spectrum. I know, but you really have to try and not do that, because it doesn't make you look good. It doesn't. It just makes you look like an utter jerk. And I'm sorry, from what I saw here and on your DeviantArt page, you're falling back into old habits. You're probably going to likely do the things that you have done beforehand that are going to make people hate you. The only thing that you've acknowledged that you've done, which is a good thing, is that you closed your Twitter account. And I think I speak for everybody when I say, good for you. You don't need that. You don't need a lot of online drama. And you said yourself, why have I got this account when I keep hating on it so much, and a lot of drama is caused by it. So yeah, just close it. That's good. All right. So yeah, like Lara Convoy said, you acknowledge the good, and you do question the bad, but you mustn't not praise the good. Positive reinforcement is good. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, you have done the right thing, ZM, by closing your Twitter account. That's awesome. And just don't open another one. Don't open another sock puppet account to go with that either, or whatever. Just don't open another Twitter account. That is the absolute last thing that you need. So well done to you, at least, for doing that. As for like wording, phrasing, okay, maybe that might still need to be worked on. I still think that there's probably some anger issues still there. Maybe anger management might be maybe a best way of going forward as well, perhaps, to handle people who may not necessarily agree with you, but maybe um, are trying to like convey that in a calming fashion. Not resorting to name calling. They haven't called you any names or whatever. They might just say, "Oh, but maybe I might actually be a big fan of the Rise of Skywalker, for example, or something like that." And instead of going, "Oh, well, you're an idiot for liking this film that I do not like," and whatever. I'm sorry, that was terrible. That was really terrible. I'm sorry, but you get my point. Instead of saying that, I'll just say, "Oh, good for you," good for you. That's your opinion, and everyone has their own opinions, and some are different. Some are going to be completely, they're not going to be the same as yours. It's just one of them things. But anyway, but yeah, in regard to the whole hate them thing, your haters, whatever, online harassers, whatever. Like I said, just report them. Don't give them the time of day. Just report them. If they're, trying to be you, trying to do things that you wouldn't do, or doing things that you wouldn't do, and you're concerned about that, absolutely fine to be concerned about that. Um, just report them. Don't do anything else. Just report them. Don't do a video on them. That is what they want. That is like you falling into their trap. You are falling into their trap if you do a video acknowledging your haters in that regard. No, don't do that. Do not do that. That is the absolute worst thing you can do. Just ignore them. Or Lyle Convoy, even admitted, or poke fun at them if you can. Oh, sorry, I did that again. If they really are like getting on your nerves or whatever, just poke fun at them. Try and gather stuff on them, make them into a joke or whatever. But true, that's not going to be for everyone. Some people can do that quite easily. Some people don't. Like I said, for me, it's just far easier just to ignore them. If it's going to be to the point where you feel like you're being harassed or whatever, report them. That is what the whole thing's there for. But yeah, just don't acknowledge your haters. Just go and just do your reviews. That's what people go to your channel to view anyways, is your reviews. That is what they want to see. Are reviews, not this, that, and the other. But then of course, again, going back to falling into bad habits, if you do your videos in exactly the same ways you have before, then people will still say, "Oh, yeah, this kid, he's got his opinions and he's gonna, and he has to like yell out his opinions and doesn't acknowledge the fact that other people may have the different opinion to him and whatnot." It's just, yeah, you're still gonna get that if you do your videos the same way. If you do them in a like slightly different way, that's absolutely, that's fantastic. That's um and that's brilliant. That shows that you're learning something. That that you are getting better, and that is good. That is what people are expecting to, hoping for change. But I'm just forewarning you, if you fall back into old habits, don't expect much people to, give you any leeway in regard to, in regard to that. Or, I mean, some people might say, "Oh, it's because he's on the spectrum." They might use that as an excuse. Um, but yeah, but just because you're on the spectrum doesn't mean to say that you can't self-improve. You can, obviously. Anyone can improve. Even if you've got a mental disability or not, you can still improve. But yeah, but by the sounds of it, well, from what I've seen on DeviantArt, from that comment you left, and from you calling certain people idiots because they might think that you've changed your name to try and escape the fact that you were as involved in that controversy area. Yeah, that's just, to me, you're still the same misanthropony, Z Spectrum. No, sorry. sorry, Zaid Magenta. Sorry, it's Zaid Magenta, whatever. Again, I'm really not digging that name. I'm sorry, but that's your choice. Ah, it's probably going to take just time for people to get used to. But I mean, it's silly. We just used to call him Map, but now we can't even use that anymore. But unless we're talking about his DeviantArt account until he gets that name changed. But who knows? Oh dear me, who knows? But yeah. But from what I can see, though, it's looking very much like he hasn't really changed all that much, all that well in the last 8 months. He's still more or less the same, but we'll see. It's still early days yet, to be fair. He only's posted one video, and that is just to say that he has returned. That was the video that I was quoting. Um, so yeah, I mean, as I said, if he just goes back to doing his reviews, people watch them, and if they see a bit of a change, they're going, "Oh no, he's changed for the better," brilliant. But if he falls into old habits, like during the review, he might do something like, "Oh, and I blame so and so for this happening because this shouldn't have happened because this so and so had to stick their nose in and it affected production and blah blah blah." I mean, well, okay, maybe no, just maybe not so much what he says, but how he says it. Again, because again, this was why the individual on Twitter blocked him because he come off sounding very angry. He'd probably say the same stuff, but it'll probably come out if it comes out a bit more like, well, because of this person and their constant need to feel like they've been involved in this production, this is why this film absolutely sucked because this person came in and tampered with a perfectly reasonable, serviceable script and story and changed it and blah blah blah. Yeah, giving for example, but you know, it could very well be how he says it. Not entirely certain, but if there is some semblance of change, then that is all good. But from early impressions, or at least from what I can see again on his DeviantArt page, from the comment he left, yeah, it's probably at least first impressions. Right now, it looks like it's going to be extremely easy for him to do another mistake like he did on Twitter. And if that's the case, then no doubt Lio Convoy or whoever will do another video on him and they'll go, "Oh boy, he hasn't changed a bit, has he? He's still doing the same shit as before." Sorry, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And yeah, I mean, me personally, again, as I said, it's tempting to call person names, but if you're adding autism to your list of, slurs or whatever, that is not cool at all. You are just deliberately giving autism a bad name. That isn't good at all. I don't do it. Don't do it. Like I said, it might be tempting, but I don't. I don't use it as a means of calling somebody an idiot. I don't because that is a low blow, a horrific low blow. But I never, ever, if someone might be acting up on the street, whatever, maybe making noises or hand gestures or whatever, um, I just have to have a look at them and realize, oh, they could have, special needs. Just ignore them. That is the best way of doing it. You don't acknowledge them. You don't go, ha 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 ha, that person is doing weird stuff. They're a rude word and just, and whatever. No, no. But then this isn't about that. This is, of course, you're acknowledging people who you believed have wronged you. And in certain instances, perhaps they have wronged you. But I already said what you should do about them. Either ignore them or report them. You don't go around saying stuff like that, calling them autistic idiots or idiots on the spectrum or whatever it was. You didn't say the autistic idiots. That was just something that come into my head just now. I'm sorry, but yeah, you don't say stuff like that. You don't. You just don't, and it's because of that. What you said to people on your DeviantArt page that just makes me think. At the moment, it looks like you haven't really learnt much at all, but we'll still have to wait and see. You still got several reviews to post, and of course, if people watch those and thinking, or after they've seen them, they'll be like, "Oh, he hasn't changed at all. I'm gonna unsubscribe or whatever." That's entirely up to them. To be quite honest, they don't give you they don't owe you a reason why. They can just do it. But if they see an improvement, that's great, and maybe you might gain more subscribers. But we shall see. But anyway, if people want to know about Misanthro, he is now back under the name of Zaid Magenta. Made sure to get the name right this time. And yeah, for me personally, it looks like he is going to be going back into old habits very, very soon, minus the Twitter. That's the only thing that I'll definitely acknowledge him is getting rid of the Twitter account. That is the only brilliant move out of all of this. But uh, yeah, as for what the future holds, I mean, could everything might be fine. And sorry, everything might be fine. He might, continue. He just does his reviews. He might perhaps decide, oh, like 2 or 3 videos in, doing his reviews, he might say to himself, "Actually, I'm quite happy doing this. I'm just quite happy doing my reviews. I don't need to acknowledge my haters," and gets rid of that whole idea in his head of acknowledging them. That is my that's the other thing I would heavily suggest. Do not acknowledge your haters. If anything, just don't. Like I said, ignore them or report them if you feel like you're being threatened or whatever. But just don't acknowledge the haters because I said that it's not going to achieve anything. You're still going to be a target to them. You're still going to be hated regardless. Just ignore them. But unless you learn to do that and learn not to name call so much and, make everything so personal, then unless you learn, not to take everything like that, then you're just going to continue falling into bad habits. And from what I can gather, that's what's happening. But anyway, if you're interested, Zaid Magenta is, of course, on YouTube now. If you search Misanthropony, his new account will still pop up because it's all tied to the same account. In fact, actually, that's probably what's going to happen. Each time you type in Misanthropony into YouTube, Zaid Magenta will come up as being at least one of the earliest results, since that is the actual channel, just with the name changed. Um, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe this is the end of the saga. Maybe this is it. After this, perhaps he will change or has changed and will just do his reviews and that'll be that. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm hoping that this is the end of the saga though, because oh dear. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, it's almost been half an hour now, and I'm going to give my throat a rest now. But thank you ever so much for watching, though, guys. And I do hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, whatever. And I will see you again soon. Take care, guys. Bye.